Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair. Calm down and get your feet to gift at the Sci-Fi Center. We got almost everything a geek could want at the Sci-Fi Center. You name it, we got it. Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and everything in between at the Sci-Fi Center.
Happy Tuesday. Happy last 11 minutes of Tuesday. Welcome to a lazy Tuesday edition of the Midnight Express. No real topics, no real anything. Like I said, I'm still recovering from Wrestlemania weekend. Supposed to be a semi-vacation, but it wasn't really. It was a working vacation, even though I had a lot of fun. Just like I said, getting back into the week. It's Tuesday, headed into Wednesday. Woo! Lakers beat Minnesota. Impressive defensive performance after blowing the first game. And tomorrow night, my Kings will look to take a 2-0 lead against the piece of shit Edmonton Oilers. Fuck the Oilers. So right now I'm having problems with StreamYard. There seems to be a delay between StreamYard and YouTube as far as like syncing up and letting all my people know that the show is on. I have not gotten a notification that I'm live, and I'm pretty sure I'm live. So, all right, please like, subscribe, and share our geekdom. Brad should be here in a couple of seconds. I saw him share the stream. Usually when he does that, he's not too far behind. But for those of you who will inevitably be watching on Twitter or X or whatever it's called, please join us at the mothership, youtube.com/at the Sci-Fi Center. That's the main channel. That's the best way you can support us is watching us on YouTube. Even if you don't drop super chats, even if you don't do any of that stuff, that's the best way. That's where the channel is built and where it best benefits us. Even though YouTube right now, between YouTube and StreamYard, are really doing some weird things tonight. I've been on the air for 6 minutes, 29 seconds, 36 minutes, 30 seconds, and I have not got my notification, which means most of my viewers haven't gotten my notification, which kind of sucks. All right, all hell. Hi, Ray, what's going on? Yeah, I saw this. This is something. It looks like it's the back of the chairs. Chris Wong Swenson shared it. There it is. I will never this logo or the variations of this logo. This is the one in the upper left is the one that's on the back of the chairs because Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is currently in production. So it goes to figure that her logo would look exactly or be very similar to Kal-El's logo since, it comes from the same house. it's not going to kill the movie for me, but as someone who worships Kingdom Come and what that logo meant for that particular Superman in that particular era, I just can't connect with this logo. I wish he would have chosen a different form of the S. One that I would distinctly identify with him and his Superman. To me, this is just different colors of the Kingdom Come story or Kingdom Come logo. I like I said, I hold Kingdom Come in one of the highest regards of storytelling. That S that he wears, it looks like this, but it has a black background and the red. It's there's a reason, in my opinion, why that S looks like that way, why it has a black background, why it looks drastically different from anything traditionally known as Superman. And I know there's been added on stories that have used it. Superman and Authority, he has it on. To me, it's always going to be the Kingdom Come S, and I hope that this isn't a Kingdom Come type story. If he's going to do Kingdom Come, go for it. I would love to see James Gunn tackle Kingdom Come, but not Kingdom Come Light, not a version of Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come for me, the significance of Kingdom Come is the era that it takes place in, and where Superman and all the traditional heroes are at in life, which is like much older than they are now. I wouldn't want to see a contemporary story told like that, because the time that has passed is part of that story. So I hope that's not what this means. But like I said, not a deal killer for me. Still gonna. I can't wait for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. That's one of Tom King's better stories, and I think it's the best Supergirl story that they've written. So my disdain for the logo is not gonna deter me from going to see it. So there you go with that. All right, stop. And last but not least, here's Brad.
Hey, everybody. Bring me in, then take me off.
Dude, hold on. They added another function here. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, just a single person?
Yeah. Stop, okay? Stop. I like new things. I like new features. But StreamYard, you just wake up and there's just something new, and they don't explain it or nothing. They change things around. You got to go digging for stuff that used to be like right there. When I first started when I left Point X, I didn't leave Point X. When I transitioned, because we were doing Point X Lounge at the same time, the transition was so smooth because everything was so familiar. Now they're like adding stuff, taking away stuff, and that's cool that things are improving, but you got to have like a little TED Talk thing. Let me know what's going on, man. So that I'm like, not pressing the wrong thing like I just did now. It's like,
do you want to hear real quick my kind of thoughts on this? Because I just started talking about the Supergirl. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's like on the back of like one of those like on-set chairs, and
yeah,
something about like that and the logo of like the name. It looked very NASCAR to me. I don't know if I'm the only one who had that reaction. It had a very like NASCAR sort of font to me.
It reminds me of the early 80s. That text reminds me of the 80s.
Yeah, this looks like something you would see at like a race car or derby. I don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah, because of the race. Yeah, it looks like it's racing.
And that's not like a criticism. That just jumped out at me.
He seems to be going back to the 80s. And listen, me and James Gunn are in the same generation. We're both 80s kids. Like I said, my only concern when it comes to nostalgia is when you've lived through the 80s, it's really hard to replicate that feeling. And I don't know if I want to replicate some of this stuff. But like I said, he's got Tom King on board. Whenever I doubt James Gunn, I just remember, I'm not even doubting him, but whenever I think, oh, maybe I'm not going to be this or that about it, I look at the staff he's assembled and I'm like, nah, this, because this is not going to be all him. This is going to be him overseeing things, because Damon Lindelof is going to do Damon Lindelof. So, like I said, I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, hit the likes button, hit the subscribe button. And Jurassic King, I am doing great. I am alive and well. How are you?
Good, man.
After watching that.
Oh, so he's kind of dissing Fantastic Four there.
After seeing all the trailers from all the movies coming out, Fantastic Four is still, to me, it's not even close. I'm like, the only movie coming out for me in my opinion, that I've waited for that long is Fantastic Four. Everything else is a bonus. Everything else, Superman is a bonus for me. Let's see, Jurassic
Yeah.
King. I love the logo. Sci-fi. What's your thoughts on Crypto the Superdog finally being in a DC movie?
Well, he was in Super
Um,
Pets. He's the lead of
but
Super Pets. So.
an actual live action. He means live action.
Okay.
He was in the DC Titan show. But what do you think? I have spent half a century on this planet without any use for crypto in any form, shape, or substance, none whatsoever. Up until Supergirl Worlds of Tomorrow, I had no use for the Super Pets. Usually, it's cheesy. The one thing that the crypto did that I thought was cool was when he battled the pocket, the pocket dimension Superboy, or when they were fighting each other, and he using the gold kryptonite to try to assist Superboy. That would otherwise the Super Pets and I've never as a kid I had no use for crypto. As a teenager, I had no. As a grown, I had no. I could have gone another half century without ever seeing him on film. Every Superman movie, he was cool in Titans, but if he wasn't in Titans, it wouldn't have changed anything for him.
Yeah, he was pretty cool in Titans.
Yeah, I have no use for Super Pets. However, that being said, I understand because pets are a universal connector with all people. Unless you're like people, somebody who hates animals, hurts animals, then we're not even probably talking to you. But most people, unless they're allergic to them or whatever, most people generally that is a unifying factor. So it's a good business move.
I mean, it's called man's best friend for a reason.
Yeah, it's a good business move because people will connect, and like I said, a good quarter of those people are going to be kids dragging their parents back to the movie to see crypto. They might not even comprehend or care about Superman. They're there for the dog. So on a business aspect, I think it's a good idea. But if you're asking me personally, I have never had any use for Comic the fucking horse, the Blippo the monkey, or any of these silly animals.
The thing that might have, as far as this movie is concerned, because I did actually I did enjoy the Super Pets movie. I actually took my nephew to see it. But it came out, and I actually really enjoyed Keanu as voicing Batman. I actually got a kick out of his Batman. The one thing that could kind of maybe make me more excited about crypto in this movie is if what breed is he? What breed is that dog? Because
I forgot. He said it's a couple of different dogs.
Well, it's like the same kind of dog that he personally has. I don't know exactly what breed it is, but it's like most of the dogs. I mean, Murphy's he's what's he called, a German Shorthair Pointer, and most of the dogs I've had in my life, I've had about 5 others. And then golden retrievers. So I'm kind of obviously I got a real affinity for golden retrievers. So it's like if it's a golden retriever, it's like then like you're really like pulling me in. And I know it's like that you can't artistically place that kind of ultimatum on this, but it's just like it's kind of a me thing. It's like
it's a dog. It's a dog with a cape. What do you guys expect me to think about it? I just hope Lindelof doesn't go full Lindelof like he did with some rewrite decisions in Prometheus, and I love that movie, but the original script was written by Josh Pate. I don't know. I mean, the Prometheus is almost a perfect movie for me, so I guess I like it. So I have not seen that.
That actually dropped today. Actually, that's about the only real news I think we got today as far as anything we would read on the trailer. And then it's again they missed the title. They missed the title should have been I Know What You Did 28 Summers Ago.
I tapped out on that franchise after the second one?
Well, it was 2 movies, and this is the third one. Or did they have? Did they have?
I think they had a third one, but I'm not. I gave up on it. So.
Well, that was straight to video back when that was actually a pejorative, because now it's kind of gone the opposite direction. But really, I think the first one really kind of did it played that whole gimmick about as well as it got the most mileage out of it. I think you could have the whole thing about these drunk kids think they killed the guy that they hit and they dump his body and he comes back for revenge. It's I don't know. I feel like it's I don't know if you can turn that into the next Jason or Michael. I feel like that's kind of almost, that feels to me almost more like a one and done.
It's like Scream. I just don't care anymore. I don't hate them, but I'm just not compelled to the next Scream. I'm not going to go see it in the movie theaters. I mean, I didn't see the last one in the movie theaters. I think the franchise is done, and I think I still think that one's done too. But you know what? Somebody's going to go see it. Momoa going from Aquaman to Lobo and James Gunn Superman. I think it's fine. I mean, I would have loved to see the only thing about that is I would have loved to see him complete, along with everyone else, complete the story.
That's the whole caveat in all of this.
I don't mind him going to play Lobo or anybody else. I don't care about Lobo. I grew up as a comic book collector, not caring about Lobo. Rest in peace, Keith Giffen. I can't stand the character. But as far as Jason Momoa playing him, I congratulations. I think he's going to do great as a character. But as far as to answer your question, he never, in my opinion, he never truly finished being Aquaman in that sense. He got a shitty, not a shitty movie, but a truncated second movie, and he was part of the Justice League that never got its third act. So.
Yeah, it's like that, and like I said, that's the caveat on all of this that we're going into. It's not just with him as Lobo; it's the whole thing. And actually, kind of bringing it back a little bit to Kingdom Come, you were talking about the Kingdom Come emblem on Corn Sweat Superman and also on Supergirl, and you talked about before. It's like, yeah, you don't, as far as like an adaptation of Kingdom Come, you don't want to see like Diet Kingdom Come or what have you. I think we've talked about before. It's like, I mean, with the passage of time and like other elements, it's like really like the conclusion we're talking about that really lends itself very well to having a Kingdom Come spin put on it.
It does, and like I said, if James Gunn wants to do that, I'm fine. I don't want to see a contemporary because, like I said, the fact that these superheroes have moved on with their lives and let the contemporary generation take over and pretty much lay waste to everything is a big part of the story. And I don't think you could do that in a truncated thing, even if you have modern day superheroes doing it. It's what Superman meant to that society for so long, and then he goes away for a while, and then Batman goes away for a while, and then Wonder Woman go. All of them leave and go their separate ways, and they stay away from Earth, and Earth turns into something else over the course of like a 20-25 year period. I don't think without adding that time gap that it's going to have the significance. That's just my opinion.
You know what's interesting too is like what we're talking about is like doing that as the way to wrap the whole story up. Is like that's even kind of meta, like on how the whole thing plays out. It's like you can like tie that into like the real world, like kind of like it ended, it went away, and now it came back for one final hurrah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind seeing that. If that and then if that's a lot, I think the biggest thing right now, I think what a lot of people have issues with is what sane people, not extremists, is that the last versions of these characters you had were just chopped up and thrown out there, and that's not a good thing. That's not a good memory that you want to. I think you would look positively on other things if the last thing you saw was something grand, like I said, a Kingdom Come movie. But I think he wants to do Kingdom Come with these characters. Just a guess, but if so, I'm not on board with that because, like I said, Kingdom Come needs time in between the contemporary versions of these characters and the future versions of these characters in order to work. Unless you're going to do that with these characters, but that's years from now.
And the other thing too, I think I've asked this before. It's like it's kind of amazing to me because we've gotten like, as far as like, because like specific story arcs. I mean, they tend to get adapted, in animated movies a lot. We've seen that done with Death Superman. We've seen that done with Dark Knight Returns. We've seen that done with Flashpoint. We've seen that done with the whole bunch of. It's really surprising me we've never seen a Kingdom Come animated movie or any adaptation like at all of any. I mean, the closest we've gotten is like Brandon Routh's Superman on a Crisis on Infinite Earth, and that's not an adaptation. That's just kind of we're giving him a Kingdom Come backstory in the interim between Superman Returns and his appearance on Crisis, but of course that's not a one-to-one adaptation. And the only other thing we've gotten it as is the wingsuit with Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, so and that's about it. I mean, somewhere down the line, I would, if he's looking to adapt this, I hope he would do it in a future sense. I don't want to see David Cornsweet Superman where he is right now playing Kingdom Come.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like I get the sense that this is as far as what he's doing, it's like it's not. Because it's the emblem, but it's not it's not coming with like the history of like why he has that particular S or this, that, and the other. It strikes me as like this is not going, at least for the time. I mean, I could be totally wrong here. I mean, all we're doing, we're running circles, speculating about this till this movie actually comes out. But I get the sense that this is like an inspired by Kingdom Come more than a based on Kingdom Come kind of thing.
Yeah, and even then, I'm like, dude, I mean, when you're ready to do Kingdom Come, go full throttle with it from the top to bottom. I don't want to see an inspired by person because it's such a special story, and I'm being selfish. It's a special story, But I think that I don't. If James Gunn wants to do it, more power to him. But I like I said, I just that part of it, that time in between, to me is so important that I hope that it doesn't happen in that manner. Got something I forgot to say at the beginning of the show, and it has something to do with some of the comments and stuff that I get in in our comment section and sometimes in the chat. I'm going to try to say this in the friendliest, kindest way possible. When you jump into the comment section, understand that I value your opinion. I respect the fact that you have an opinion. But as it pertains to my platform and how I structure the conversation, I don't give a fuck. All right? I do not feel the need to defend anything I say on this show. It's an opinion. I don't think you or anyone else watching or in the comments has to feel like you have to defend your opinion. Opinions are not facts. Had to correct somebody on that. All right. And saying that I'm afraid to be challenged by another YouTuber or whatever YouTuber. No. This is my show. This is my platform. I have chosen the way that I have this geek conversation. Comparing me to another YouTuber means nothing to me. Even if it's YouTubers I like and respect, that's their platform. They've chosen the style and tenor to speak to you guys in. I've chosen mine. It's not a court case. And I think this notion that there has to be some open debate and battle on YouTube has ruined movie talk, and it's kind of fucked up YouTube. When I put these opinions out there, that's it. Now, if there is new information from legitimate sources and things like that, then that opinion change. With new information, you evolve. But I'm not going to have a screaming match on my channel with another YouTuber, or go back and forth in the chat section once I've identified that you're not adding anything even to your own conversation. Just not going to do it. I'm not here for a war.
And by the way,
I am here for a conversation. If you want to challenge me, there's this little thing on the chat to the side. That's our window. That's your window. That's your part in the conversation. But over the last couple of days, I've been doing that, and I think this person keeps changing his name and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They use the familiar words, just like the names and faces have changed to protect the innocent, but it's the same people. No, I have no fear of anybody on YouTube. I could care less about being challenged, but I don't think I need to defend my opinion. How people do things on their shows is how they do them. YouTube is free. Anybody can get on there and anybody can have their conversation. We're having ours here. So yeah, I had to go back and forth. Most of them I deleted because it was just gibberish, and I don't take these things personally, but that these chats and these comments sections, especially the ones that are part of the channel, are there for my viewers, our viewers. If they're not there, they're there to extend the conversation and make it better. Not whether you agree with me or not. But if you're not adding things to the conversation, and then you start dropping the names and everything else, and then you're wasting my time, and you're wasting my audience's time. So just wanted to put that out there, because I know there are certain people watching that try to group me in with other people and compare the show to other people. Go watch those guys. I don't do YouTube for a living. I'll stay with my meager following as long as it takes me to build the atmosphere I want to build and to have the conversation I want to have. And you're invited. But the conversation is what it is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Brad, but I would have forgotten what I was saying if I would have.
No worries. I mean, for the record, I don't even know like who specifically Williams was referring to, so or what this particular controversy is. So it sounds like he doesn't want to like go too in depth like on air about that. So maybe like we'll talk about that afterward.
I left one of just go back and look a couple days ago. I left one of those comments because that answer that I just said right now, it's going to stand. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. I've heard from people that say, well, you're afraid to have this guy's on the show because he'll challenge you. I don't give a fuck about that person. I like those people. Some of the people that they brought up, I love and respect these people. But what's it gonna do? We're gonna scream at each other on YouTube. I'm not changing your mind. You're not changing mine. You're most likely neither one of us are going to bring anything to the table that changes each other's mind legitimately. I don't do this for clicks. I like your clicks. I like and subscribe, do all that stuff. But guess what? If you don't do it, and it takes me 1,000 years to get to some of the levels of some of these channels, then that's how long it takes. That's how long it takes.
Yeah, again, I'm very in the dark about what we're talking about here. So, but I share his sentiment totally. It's like we're not here to get in the dick measuring contests with other YouTubers or what have you. So we're here to talk about nerd shit and have fun with it. And when you remove that from it, you kind of remove the essence of the show and the essence of why we want to do it in the first place. So we're not here to like have beef with anybody.
All right, and like I said, the show will never turn into a debate. It's not a debate. I put my opinion out there. That's it. You want to engage with me? Use the chat. Respectfully, use the comment section. But like I said, it only takes me a couple of lines to get in here and be like, oh, geez, you again type of situation. Or, once again, once one of your sentences says, I don't know anything about Superman, I generally don't read the rest. Because you're just wasting your breath, your keystrokes, and my time. You may not agree with what I say about Superman. This doesn't mean I don't know anything. And when I put out an opinion, and this is a favorite target, about Batman the Animated Series, boy, they love that one. That's my opinion. That's my philosophy. This show is where I express both of those. I'm not trying to convince you, but I get asked the question all the time, and I answer it. That is not a clarion call to war. It's in my opinion. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. These opinions I come up with, I'm very measured when I speak. I'm very measured when I respond. I try to be really careful not to put anything out there that I haven't thought about or I have a legitimate opinion about. And my opinions have basis. Even if you don't agree with them, that's fine. But I'm not retracting things. I'm not changing things. You ask me questions, I'm going to give you a consistent answer. So, we've had some things going on, but going forward, it's going to be the same thing. I mean, anybody can come into the chat, ask legitimate questions within the context of the conversation we are having at any given time. But that's it. You're not gonna bait me into some YouTube war with some other YouTuber. It's just not gonna work. I don't have time for it. I'm a grown ass man. All right. Okay. But just wanted to put that out there so that people understand.
Yeah, enough of that. Well, actually, also on that note, I thought I'd actually do, since we were talking about the Kingdom Come emblem and its role in James Gunn Superman and the larger lexicon of Superman mythos. I don't know if it's kind of related, but it kind of, I had one just go live today on Compa.com that's sort of, it speaks to kind of a little bit what you're talking about, but it's not about the Kingdom Come suit, though. It's about a different Superman suit. It's about the Fleischer suit. This was from Tyler Hoechlin was just down at the Puerto Rico Comic-Con, and he was asked about, like, because he's, gone through, like, 9 different versions of his suit between Arrowverse and Superman and Lois, and he's had some great suits on Superman and Lois. I mean, like, particularly, I think they really, they still... in the early seasons, they were still kind of finding their footing with it. I think they really kind of perfected it by season 4. But he was asked what's his favorite version of the suit, and he said because of kind of like the way it ties into the Superman. I know you hate this word, nostalgia of Superman's beginnings, and the fact that
I don't hate the word nostalgia. I just, like I said, it's like something in your refrigerator that's good when it's used right. Right? You wouldn't put gelatin into your omelet, would you? just because it's in the refrigerator. I don't hate Jello gelatin. I don't want it in my omelet. See what I mean? Nostalgia is the same thing. If it's used right, it can make a great meal. But if you mess it up,
I think it was kind of used right here, where he said his favorite suit that he got to wear was the Fleischer inspired suit in the pilot, and then one of the flashback episodes. This is part of why I love the show so much, is because it really, more so I think than any other Superman show I've ever seen, and I'd even put up there like this rivals the movies, and in a lot of ways, where it's like it has such a reverence to the entirety of Superman's history, including in his suit. And I never thought I would see the Fleischer suit in live action. I didn't think you could like really do the Fleischer suit in live action in a way that would feel like that they wouldn't feel like it's out of, you're pulling something from a bygone era that just isn't going to fit in like today's kind of like landscape. But you see, they managed to find a way to work it.
The way they did it here was kind of cool. So
it was
not every day, but I could see it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I never thought I'd see it in live action. I never thought I'd see it done well in live action. They managed to do both on the show, and again they made it very organic too, where he says like the initial suit Tyler's Superman wears on the show. He says Martha Kent made that for him. Then he gets like the Kryptonian version of it later, which is kind of more, again, the chainmail design. But it fits the world, and it fits the arc and the progression of his story on the show. And so I don't think you could do this as like, unless you're doing like a period setting kind of thing.
This is the only way I can see you doing it.
That's like as a flashback. Like this is like the first. This is him like on when he's like first year or two of operation.
Yeah,
this is like the proto. This is like the proto suit almost.
Hey, Aaron, I have not seen the comment. So I can't really remark on those right now.
But again, that was when I had go live day, and it's like I get, even though I really dig the mainline suit throughout the as the shows are on. Again, season 4, that's where they really perfected it for me. But this really, they did the Fleischer suit in live action about as well as I think anybody could have possibly asked to. So that's
and it's also the suit that's actually on the cover of Action Comics #1.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's like it has a it ties into. I mean, it ties into his history.
The car behind him is the car he lives in.
Yeah. I mean, and they recreated that image too, where he saves that car from. It's really weird. It's like they did on Superman Returns too, where it's like he's clearly throwing a car on the cover. But
everybody for 80 years, everybody thinks that he's saving those people. No, he's about to smoke those people.
Yeah, but when they recreate it in live action, it's like he's saving a Butler with like he's tossing a car of a.
Yeah, those are criminals about to get crushed up in that car. Bell, I don't know, Bell. I've been having issues. Like I said, I had issues tonight.
Yeah,
with people getting a notification. Even myself, I'm hosting the show, and I have yet. It's 35 minutes in. I have yet to get a notification that I'm live. So I get you. So by the way, guys, I will look up the comments that Paul Heyman said, and then I will determine whether either I want to talk about it or B, whether they what he said in context. So I'm not blowing by your questions. I have not heard those comments, so I'll have to look at it.
That is weird because it's like it is kind of like when you see your comments. I mean, obviously we can tell Belle's a fan, but it's like it's somewhat sporadic when I see her in the comments. I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm just saying it's like it's
she's not getting the notification.
Yeah, she's not finding out when we're live, which she should be.
Especially if you hit the bell, I'm supposed to tell you. All right, did I see that The Rock buried Triple H and WWE creators saying it was all Hunter and the creators' fault? It was. If he didn't want any part of it, Hunter, John Paul Levesque, which is Hunter Herschel's real name, is the man. He is the chief creative content. He is the guy. Everything you saw at WrestleMania happened because he oversaw it or initiated. He is the man. That is his position. That's, if it was Triple H's idea to bring him in, or Triple H could have said no. Yeah, I know Rock says, hey, I'm on the board, I can do this. But Nick Khan and Ari Emanuel are not going to undercut Triple H. They're just not. So it's on him. If he's saying they bought him in basically to sell tickets for Elimination Chamber. which was a smart business move, but they had no plans otherwise. And if you watch WrestleMania, I believe Triple H. I don't listen. I had high hopes for Triple H's booking, but I have not. I have not been impressed. To be honest with you, it's been okay, but when it comes to the major linchpins and I have not been really on board with some of the stuff he's doing. And WrestleMania, both nights were a symbol of that for me. So,
guys, I'm sorry. This is what I was saying. It's about the. I just looked down on that article I was just sharing. I just looked down in the comments section. The moderator of that panel actually commented on that piece I wrote about Tyler talking about his favorite suit. I'm pulling this up again.
oh my gosh, self-graduation.
I'm not kidding. Yeah, right here. Pedro Valle Javier. Me, I was the moderator. LOL. Tyler is really great. We had a blast during the panel. That's never happened.
Your work's getting out there, man.
Yeah, love it. So thank you very much, Pedro, if you're watching.
Belle, what? I hope that's a good thing, Azteca, that you're calling her. All right. Thoughts on the rumors that Bayley could be going to AEW on her contract? I mean, it's always believable when a star like that, because they're, even if she never leaves, that's one of the good things about AEW is you can use them to leverage yourself and get a better deal that you may not have gotten when it was just WWE and a bunch of small factions. So I don't know if I believe it or not. I think WWE is her home. But I do think the fact that AEW is out there and Tony Khan will bring in, and put her up there with Sasha or Mercedes Moné, Tony would pay that money. So, but if she probably wants to stay in WWE, but they're in negotiation, and that's a good chip to use. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see it, Aaron, but, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not just being used for leverage. No, and not really. But I needed to put that out there so that you guys understand the expectations of the show, more so you guys watching than anybody else, because you guys who are regulars here understand how we do things. But like I said, we're not always going to have just these same people. We grow at least a couple people every day, and I want to be forthright with what you should expect when you enter this space. That's all. How are you doing, Slipknot? Which movie have you had the most conversation about? When do you mean? Like Sinners has been top of mind lately because it just came out. Are you talking about between Fantastic Four? If you're talking about Fantastic Four and Superman, it's been split. It's been about 50-50.
Yeah, I'd say it's been split. Yeah.
I think it's excellent. I think it's an excellent idea. This is what I would like to see.
Like that tie-in for it.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to see about 3 or 4 months ago, but I'm glad it's here now. Remember, guys, when I say when you have a nuclear family, even though not all families are, but that's your blueprint. When you have your household, I always say use the household approach. Get mom and dad involved and get the kids involved. That way, everybody's involved. You're getting money directed at you from, even though the kids don't have jobs, their parents are buying things for them and they're buying things for themselves. So something like this gets those kids involved to the point. And Superman is the character to do it with. You can't do this with every character, but you can do it with Superman. So I was happy to see that. Been alive since the BC era. Dude, can't wait. Oh, an old joke. Wow. Hilarious. All right. Let's see. Man of Steel suit is great. You know what? That is my favorite.
Yeah,
I love the Man. I love the thing about I love about the Man of Steel is the alien nature of everything in there, and that suit is part of it. So yeah, that's my favorite.
What's also they give it like the way I put it, and you can definitely see on Superman and Lois that they took influence on that, particularly in the latter seasons and that's why I say when it comes to the suit in general, it's like the way I put it is I've been spoiled on chainmail because the suits have a very chainmail kind of design to them. And the thing I liked about that approach to it is that it gives it, it's like William said, it's an alien quality to it, but it also gives it a quality I think you could say it's both regal, but it's also very warrior-like. And so it's got all three of those elements really wrapped into it, and that really, the suit itself, both Man of Steel's and Superman and Lois's, they tell kind of a story about Superman's culture and his origins, like within the suit itself.
You are correct there, Mighty Rex. I forgot that. When did they start using? Because Fleischer started making this stuff. I thought
Fleischer, those started in the early 40s.
1941. So
Yeah.
about 3 years after this. There you go. All right.
I bet you, yeah, it's cool. You can see how much like the S Shield has sort of evolved. I mean, really, like you put all the different like variations of it up. I mean, it's like there's definitely been a consistency with it, like around the 40s, but even then, it's like then the S inside of it tends to go through redesigns. I mean, we have the Kingdom Come version, we have we have like the Christopher Reeve, this and that. So yeah, it's fun looking back on like all the how the it's similar to like Batman's bat on his chest. It's fun kind of looking back.
I have buttons of that when we did Superman
well,
and Batman Day.
And that, I mean, that's an interesting one too, because I mean, Batman's like he started out just with the bat, and then he had the yellow oval, which like canonically
I'm not a fan of the yellow oval, but
I could see people like going either way, and I kind of do too. I think
dude, you're the Dark Knight. You sneak up on people. You're camouflaged in darkness. Here's some yellow.
There's a reason for that. Like canonically, the reason why he added that was the idea is that he wanted to draw fire from bad guys away from his head. Now,
which makes a lot of sense, but yeah, because center mass is where you aim when you're shooting. So,
but then so it's like they had that for a long time, comics and live action and animation. Then once they went back to just the bat in isolation, that's when I kind of like, okay, I've settled on that now. It's like the bat just by itself is just
that's what I like, blended in. I grew up with Christopher Reeve Superman, so when I saw David Superman, I instantly thought of Christopher Reeves, which is a good thing. I did as well, and when I saw that trailer, and like I said, I grew up with Christopher Reeve Superman, but for me, and this is a personal thing with me, I don't expect anybody else to share this opinion, is I grew up and away from that version of Superman. It fit my needs. It's 6-year-old me love that Superman. Hell, old me loves that. But now when you're presenting me something new, I want to see what you got. If you're a top tier creator, which James Gunn is, I don't want to see my childhood again. I want to see what you got. I want to see a James Gunn type of thing. That's why I want to, and not aside from the whole Kingdom Come connection to Kingdom Come S, that's just that's another creator's S. You're James Gunn. I was really wanting to see what you got, but man, like I said, not gonna break the bank for me. Did you just say I don't speak Spanish, Bell? So you tear up Azteca over that one there. Yeah, always glad to see brand new people in there.
Yeah. What type of dog is Crypto? Well, Crypto's actually gone through like different kind of designs. Or he tends to be like a white lab.
Yeah, he's a generic. There's been times where he looks like a small pit bullish kind of dog, but when you look up his description, they don't give the breed because they just don't. It's a generic breed. White. He's always been consistently white. This is the first time I've seen him with that much fur and fluff, but you know what? It'll work.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We've been on the air for 45 minutes. What do I got going on this? I'm basically getting ready for the most important day of the year, May 3rd. Recomic Day.
I'm kind of curious. Like, can you because you said like for your business, it's like that's even bigger than Black Friday, is it? Which that's a little bit that's for a lot of businesses in this country, that's kind of counterintuitive. It's because most will tell you the day they brace themselves for, they really prepare for, is Black Friday. So why is that? Not to say the free comic day isn't important for comic retailers, but why is that?
For me, it's going to be specifically by me. I don't know what other stores do and how the importance is for them. So some of them, Black Friday and the holiday season is really big for them. Because I'm out in the tourist area and I'm not necessarily a neighborhood comic store. I mean, I get local business, but the vast majority of my business is tourist. It's people coming in, coming directly to like WrestleMania weekend. I mean, the demographics, wrestling's in my demographics. I get people from conventions, and that's throughout the year. That is the majority of my people. I build them in a different way than I build a local. Your local comic book collector, because of price of gas and convenience and everything else, they generally stay, unless they work out in a certain area, they generally stay within proximity of where they live. Now, if you've ever been to my store, you guys know I am dead center in the city. I'm literally in the center of the city. I am a block away from Las Vegas Boulevard and the convention center and everything else like that. You know, you have downtown and you have everything else, and then the east. A lot of these stores, most of these stores are situated in neighborhoods, in shopping centers that are in neighborhoods that are about 4 or 5, 6 miles away. That may not sound like a lot, but like I said, your rhythm and your routine keeps you within a certain proximity. Especially when gas is $4 or $5 a gallon. So this year, or this day, is the day that I get to make my case to locals. Is, you know, because a lot of the times we all generally get the same books, but different places run out at different times. So the store that they go to all the time, because you generally don't hold free comics for anybody, because we it's a first come first serve thing for most people. So your local store runs out. So now you're looking for that particular issue you want. Now you're coming to the places that have it or may have it. So whereas I might be out of one thing, I may have another. And this is the one day where everybody gives as many stores as possible as their chance. And it's the day where I make my case to get whatever revenue I can from you versus what you're already spending at your local store, which you're probably going to stay with. But you know, I don't need 100% of that business. I could 5-10% of that ticket, you know, I can survive on that. So it's the case that, you know, a lot of people hear about us, but, you know, if you're in Henderson or Summerlin, you're not coming to the Sci-Fi Center if you have a place that's right there and established. But that day they come out, and then we do promotions and everything else. They get to see the store instead of just hearing about it. You know, a lot of them are following our social media, but I never had a chance to get out here until today, you know. So it's that day is the impetus for them to come out, and you build customers. It's a customer building experience. And then you have your new, you know, not only are you just giving away free comics, but they're coming in. A lot of the content that you're giving away is connected. That's what they do it for. They connect it to current storylines. Like you'll have like the Absolute and the DC All In stuff kind of started in pre-comic book day. So you're basically being able to turn people on to a lot of different stories that are already in your store or get them to come back for them. So it's a customer building experience. And like I said, it's the one time of the year where somebody's going to come from way out of their comfort zone to come give you a shot. And then that's where we make our case. So it's an extremely important day for a lot of different reasons. It's the biggest revenue generating day of the year for me. So here we go. Hope I answered your question.
No, I feel you, man. And it's yeah, like you mentioned previously, like the bulk of your clientele is tourist visits. So you know, that combined with the location of the place and you know, those other factors. So yeah, that does make sense. But again, it's like I mean, you know, like you said before, it's like most people running retail establishments, like their goal is to get to Christmas. So, and again,
now Christmas, don't get me wrong. The Christmas season is big for me because it's gift giving and things like that. But free comic book day for me is more of a customer building. See, customers, there's a difference between having somebody walk in and grab an item and leave, and then being able to build a rapport and talk with a customer when the topic is not just gift giving. It's comic books, you know.
I'd almost liken it to like everything you described. It's almost like a job fair, but it's more, but it's like a job fair, but it's like a customer fair. If that makes sense.
They're going back to their neighborhoods. They're going back to their stores. But I'm in the back of their mind now, you know, hey, if I really want something important and I saw it here, I think this guy can get it for me, and I need it sooner than that guy can get it to me. I'm in their head now. If you know, sometimes they will be in the area. Sometimes they'll be taking family and friends to the strip. Sometimes they'll be coming to the restaurant. That occasion, you know, in that rapport we built with them on that particular day brings them back to us out of convenience. So every day is an opportunity to build your customer, and turn them on to things. That's why the store is set up with as seen on TV section. That's why my counter section has the areas of the store where if you've been out of comics for a while, where you can jump in. If you're brand new, where you can jump in. It's set up so that people don't feel overwhelmed and intimidated. But a free comic book gets you into the door just as good as anything else. And the way they do these free comic books, you know, you can grab that free comic book and you can walk them over to the actual arrow that, you know, that the publisher has pretty much laid out for you. So Free comic day. People go to every store in their local area. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. Because like I said, certain people are going to open at different times. Certain people are going to run out of key things sooner than others. And if they know you have it, they'll come to you. And while they're there, they look around, and then there's my chance. Let's see, Paul. I saw Andor seasons 2, episodes 1 today. I thought it was okay. One of the story arcs in the borrow from Rebel Moon. I have not jumped into Andor.
I haven't either.
Andor season 2. I saw the trailer. That was a beautiful trailer.
Yeah, well, it's really, I don't know. It's like, and maybe we're kind of getting close to that this year with the Revenge of the Sith re-release on Friday, but it's really kind of weird to me. It's like that, start with May the 4th, being like the unofficial, or maybe like official, like because Lucasfilm seems to endorse it. Star Wars holiday. It's like they've never released unless I'm missing something, never released like a new Star Wars movie or show or Star Wars anything on May the 4th.
Because Star Wars loosely recognizes it. I mean, they'll post about it, but they're going to release stuff when it's best for them. They do generally. I mean, the original Star Wars came out in late May. I don't. Yeah, you're right. I don't think because I remember Revenge of the Sith. When was Revenge of the Sith released?
That would have been like May 2005.
Yeah, because I remember I was deployed. We watched that,
I was just about a month out from graduating high school. So.
Yeah, because I remember seeing that in an Air Force hangar, and it was huge.
That's cool. So was that like brought over to Iraq kind of thing?
Yeah, we got to see it early. We got to see it a few weeks early.
Oh, you saw it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, see, it was May 15th.
And see what and you were in Iraq seeing that.
I was in Kuwait at the time.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, obviously, as many people have said, the movie is. I mean, you just can't miss it. It is very much like a very clear Iraq War allegory.
Yeah. Yes, I have, and I'm getting permission to play it on here without getting taken down pretty soon. So.
Bell was in the hospital.
What were you in the hospital for?
Was that when you were enlisted, Bell? Because that was also when my dad, I was graduating high school at the same time he was retired. It was that year, 2005. He was retiring from active duty. So, yeah, that kind of like was a big turning point for the whole family.
From what I've seen, I like it. I love anything Predator. Predator hasn't let me down except for the Predator. That's it. That's the only thing that let me down.
And we're a total agree. And listen, if you've heard William and I talk about, I mean, there's a lot we are simpatico on when it comes to there's definitely things we. Oh, that's when your kid was born. Okay, well, so his birthday's coming up, so happy birthday. So extend my birthday wishes to
your kid is soon going to be old enough to drink, Bell. You're old. The grandkids will be next.
I lost a thought there. It's like oh yeah, so yeah, William and I, it's like we've seen us. It's like sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree on movies, and sometimes we definitely agree or disagree on genres. But we are in total lockstep on the Predator. That movie is that is garbage. That's the worst Predator. I've said, and I don't know if you fully agree with me on this, William, but for my money, that is the worst of both the Alien and Predator franchises. Is the Predator.
I would agree so, and that's saying a lot.
Even more so, you think so? Even more so, because you absolutely loathe Alien 3.
Yeah, Alien not Predator. The Predator was bad on a really epic level. So now how it's like how hard it would be to get William to say it's like we did our ranking. I think when Romulus came out of like the whole Alien franchise, and I mean he had Alien 3 dead last, and I'd like somewhat more forgiving of Alien 3. And he's looking at me like I forget where exactly I ranked it, but he's looking at me like, seriously, Brad, you rank it that high? It's one of, as far as Alien movies, it's the worst Alien movie out there. It's the worst.
Yes,
actually, no, it's not.
No, you said Requiem. You said Requiem.
Requiem, actually, in AVP. What was that one? Was AVP? Was that Requiem?
They were both AVP, and then you, I think, you put Alien 3.
Above Resurrection. Resurrection is an awful movie.
Yeah, but the Predator. If we're like ranking, if you have to do like our ranking of like the Alien and the Predator franchises like together, it's like what's the worst to best, including both of them. The Predator is the worst of both of them. The Predator is, and I was looking forward to it big time when it came out, and And see, what really, again, as many people pointed out, like Shane Black oversaw that, and his involvement with the original franchise, just his pedigree as like an 80s and 90s like action movie screenwriter. I mean, there had to have been like studio micromanagement there, because that was like such an epic ball drop.
Nah, they just didn't have everybody involved.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that were involved in the first one that were not anywhere near the second one. So.
Yeah, God, the ending.
Oh, the Guyver thing, Power Ranger thing that they did at the end.
The Predator Iron Man. God, I could go on for that for days. But still, I think you would have hated even more like the alternate ending that would have had like the cryogenic chamber that it was either going to have like Ripley or Newt's name on it.
Oh yeah, and I would have kicked through the screen. And by the way, there is no director cut. So don't even try it. I don't care if there is one. There's no director's cut that's going to save that fucking movie. It's awful. All right, what else you guys got? I'm here. What do you guys got for me? What do you guys? Brad, that includes you. What do you want to ask me?
Well, actually, I was actually
be serious.
So I can't talk about the raid, okay?
Ask a serious question. This is your time.
It's interesting because after I just pulled up that one article I wrote, it's just kind of like flipping through some of my prior ones, like look, because I haven't read the comments too much.
Probably a good idea.
Well, because this one, okay, we'll go pull up this one. I'm not going to pull up the comments, but I'm going to pull up, so you guys know which one I'm talking about. This one I had go live about 2 months ago. That I had on my mind for a while, but is that there it goes. Yeah, Age of Ultron, and long story short, I mean the thesis of it is like, the movie makes some, in my view, and I've heard other people say it too, it makes some implicit digs at Man of Steel. And then that kind of coupled with knowing what Joss Whedon would go on to do with Justice League, that kind of leaves like a bit of a sour taste in my mouth as far as Age of Ultron. I don't think I've seen it in like probably about good like 7 years in its entirety. I've revisited the first one plenty of times. Age of Ultron, I want to, and I might make it an occasion to do this now. We're coming up on the 10-year anniversary. I'm kind of scared too, though, because of the reasons I lay out here. But I was looking through the comments on this. I've never had like a comment section of people just like really just. I guess people liked Age of Ultron more than I thought they did, because people like did not take well to this.
I didn't. I mean, I mean, it was okay when I was seeing it. I don't hate it, but it's not remarkable when I think of the Avengers movies.
Yeah, but you kind of get where my thesis is coming from on that. Is like, again, the movie, again, like it's making some like digs at Man of Steel, which I at the time I
never got those. I still don't get those vibes. It's
the whole thing about like we got to evacuate everybody. Like we're not leaving one person behind. Took that as like this is like a dig at the controversy over the destruction in Man of Steel. So there's that side of it. And at the time, I just kind of rolled my eyes like, okay.
You're gonna have to point that out to me if we ever do a rewatch or watch of that one, because I just never got it.
Well, here's where it really started to come overt to me, and it is when it's right when they're preparing for the final battle with Ultron and Sokovia, and then Captain America has the monologue about we signed up for this, but the citizens, they didn't, so our job is to get them out of the way, and then they, once the city's being like raised up into the air, then they have the shield helicarrier and come in, and Cap is like, it's like, we are not letting one person die. It's like nobody's
that's not a dig at anything. That's them being heroes. You got to realize, I don't think there's a dig. I don't see that. That's some foil hat shit, Brad. But anyway, but here's the thing though. You got to realize that Superman didn't have a choice. Yeah. Captain America had the opportunity to play him. I don't think he was taking a dig. I mean, Josh Whedon's a piece of shit, but I don't think it.
Yeah, Cap had A, prep time, B, support, C, a helicarrier to put people onto.
Yeah, Superman had to fight a crazy man that did not care about anything that he was destroying. He didn't care. He was gonna terraform the planet and kill us all anyway. So it's like,
and then once that's thwarted, he's like, okay, I got nothing left to live for. So it's like, I'm just wiping everybody out unless you stop me.
Yeah,
I can't send the Phantom Zone at that point. But there's that side of it, and then you add in like what he would go on to do on the Justice League reshoots. So those two together are kind of like really sort of.
Oh my goodness! You have foil in the house right now, because I need you to make that. I need you to make that.
Well, that's not even like conspiratorial. That's me combining those two things and saying like, it wasn't me. I'm not saying like he did that specifically to like annoy people like me. But again, the idea that when you pair those things together, it really makes it awkward, for me to revisit Age of Ultron. But anyway, so that's what I wrote on, and I had we've had Carrie in the chat before, and he's a good dude. Carrie's a good dude. He's he was very even keel, very good voice in the fandom. He actually contacted me after that because he's a DC and a Marvel guy. He's not tribal or anything like that. But he's actually a big fan of that. He kind of said, "Yeah, I'm going to have to part ways with you on the Brad." And he wasn't being flippant about it, but he shared his thoughts on it. And I made clear to him, and I want to make clear to everybody watching right now too, is like, I'm not, everything I said there and everything I wrote in that article, I'm not, and I guess the people leaving the comments didn't take it that way. I'm not trying to scold anybody for liking Age of Ultron. To be clear, I'm not saying because it's like this is the analysis I took away from it. You need to feel guilty every time you watch Age of Ultron if you're a fan of it now. It's what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that whole sequence of it, between what I interpreted as the Man of Steel, negative commentary at Age of Ultron, and then Joss going on to trash the next movie in the franchise 2 years later.
That's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Well, and here's, it was also, Kevin Smith also, one of the reveals he made is that Joss was trash talking, Zach's work on during the making of that. So we got some on-set reports of that. But all that said,
all right,
I look at the comments, people were defending that like crazy. I did not realize. I actually thought it was one of the more polarizing MCU movies, but people, I guess, I don't know, maybe people come around on it.
Well, it made a lot of money. Chappie, I'm only reading this because you paid me to, but it's it's strippers. Sorry, Brad, but I like the Predator and I appreciate what he did was more than a slocky. Here's the thing. That's okay, Chappie, but you got to realize you have a franchise to take care of. You can't damage an entire franchise. That movie damaged the franchise. That movie is why Prey went to Hulu instead of the box office. So you can like it, I understand, and it is slocky, but you can't be doing things like that when you already have a franchise. You have to uphold the consistency. Hello, Fourth. How are you doing? All right, let's see. I'm just wishing I could finish my Marvel versus Godzilla. Oh, stop motion. Oh, wow. That would be great to see. Watching James Bond. Cool. All right. So what else we got? We're a little bit over an hour.
Hard news. LOL, a crazy man. You're talking about a Zod?
Yeah, he was.
He
wasn't really crazy, but we got to realize Zod in that movie only did what he was designed to do. Yeah. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. We may not liked it, yeah.
He's a product of the genetic programming that the Kryptonian caste system, and again, that's what I love so much about the finale of it, is that it's a real it's a real heartbreaking moment when he says I exist to protect my people, and I have you've taken my reason to live from me.
Yeah. And even though obviously we're gonna have an issue because he wanted to kill us all, but it wasn't out of want, it was out of saving Krypton. That is literally what he was designed to say. Everything he did in that movie, if you look at it, wasn't from a villain. He was the villain, but it wasn't his reasoning, and that's why I like. Yeah, I like villains that you can relate to that way because they're not purely evil, but they have to do this, and from their point of view, they're not doing wrong.
And
Tony
then
Chappie,
yeah,
correct, yeah, because they were afraid to put another Predator movie in the theater because of that.
And then ironically, Prey's popularity, that's what gave them the confidence to put Alien Romulus and now Predator Badlands in the theaters.
Well, and you also have you have this TV show too is coming out. So yeah, Prey got kind of screwed by that awful movie. They're going to do a live action toy.
Yeah, I saw this.
What? I mean, I don't doubt it because Minecraft's making a lot of money. But what's gonna be Jeffy the Giraffe hanging out, chilling at the store? I mean, I'm never gonna say something can't work after I've seen the kind of crazy shit that is working. So there you go. Oh man, I think you should have seen that already, man.
No, that's gonna have legs. Yeah, actually, when they calculated the weekend box office, it actually, because they report these things on Sunday, but with Sunday they they don't have the full numbers
Yeah,
because it's still
and
Sunday.
that was a holiday. That was a holiday too.
So they have to give like a bit of a rough estimate of what based on what it did
The
the prior
projection.
2 days. Yeah. So and with Sinners, they actually came in like I think about like $2 or $3 million ahead of where it was supposed to, where they projected it to be.
All right, Sinners is currently at a global box office at $71 million. So it just needs to get to that threshold to where the PVOD can make that money. And by the way, I posted on my Twitter. I'm not on Twitter as much as I am on anything else, but there's somebody who wrote a brilliant. I'm going to go get it. Who wrote a
Yeah, I saw YouTube from IndieWire, I think.
Yeah, and they laid out everything that I've been trying to say, but they did it in a much more articulate form than I did. But I'm going to go ahead and post that on there because it gave you the context and where. And I always tell you guys, they don't stop counting the money until the money stops being made. So when everybody puts the stress on, yeah, you want to make a lot of money at the box office, but when you get things to PVOD, most of these studios have a stake in that if they don't own it majority. So whereas they have to give 35 and in some cases 50% of their revenue to the box office and then bonuses and everything else, they get the lion's share of the money when it goes to PVOD. That's why when people think, well, I hope Sinner stays in there so this longer. Or it's Superman, any of these movies, it will be in theaters long enough, but these guys are salivating of the fact that they can get it to a format to where that money is majority theirs. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Sinner, like I was saying the other day, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sinner in on PVOD next month. And people are like, why can't it just stay in the theaters? Because you know what? They're in the business to make money, and it is more profitable for them because of their percentages. We're just looking at the raw numbers of these movies. We're not looking at who has to get paid out and what percentage has to be paid to who and what and where. So when you look at it that way, yeah, everything looks great. But when you look at what the studio actually takes in, they're going to want it in a format that they can get the most money back from it. So yeah, see Sinners in the theater if you like. I think it's a great movie to see in theater. I saw it in normal. Actually, no, I did see it in IMAX. I saw it in whatever Galaxy trademarks is that there. That's their IMAX. That's what I saw it in, and I loved it.
No, they do fourth, but again, the divide, the revenue divide is different, compared to theaters.
No, but Warner Brothers gets
I think he's talking.
What is?
Yeah, I think he's talking about like when it's PV when you pay like $5 or whatever to rent it on Amazon or what have you. It's like Amazon gets a cut of that too because they're the retailer in that in that exchange.
Why is he saying they don't get a cut? What I miss?
No, he's asking us a question. It's like.
Oh yeah, they get a cut, but it's not nearly as big. And when they don't, some of them don't go on Amazon. They actually go on what's some of these apps. I don't have my phone memory right now, but there's a lot of apps. Like there's one that that Blade Runner is on, and they put their movies on there. And like I know each cable company has a lot of them. A lot of these studios are in cahoots if they do not even they own certain cable outlets, so they're set up to get the money. So some of these won't even go on Amazon for a while. They'll eventually make their way to Netflix and Amazon. But what Amazon does is Amazon pays a fee. They pay a fee to own the movie for about 2 or 3 months, and then they get their money back from the rental, but they also get the traffic. Same thing with Netflix. That's why when everybody thinks Sony's losing money and Madam Web is the worst thing ever, and Morbius is, oh my goodness. They are, remember, Amazon had a deal set up before those movies got to Marvel and Disney Plus. They took a trip to Netflix. So they already had money in hand before those movies were failures or successful. In their eyes, they got the money. So yeah, there's going to be a deal. I think Amazon will probably be the last one to get Sinners, but because the PVOD market, you charge $28, for PVOD, then most of that is going to Warner Brothers. So, but yeah, Amazon does get their cut, but they're going to be like the third market. All right, let's see. That's an interesting way of looking at it, Forth. Zod's motives are based on Plato's Republic. I'm excited for President Batman. I hope one day we get a President movie setting 2000 BC. I don't want to go too far. I don't want it to be cavemen fighting a predator. Well, dude, streaming movies look really good now. So I don't know if that's a knock. I don't care if Predator made $1 trillion at the box office. It was horrible, dude. It was eye-watering horrible. It was like, I need to get out of this situation I found myself in horrible. I want my money back horrible, and I saw it for free. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, Chappie, stop. Director says Sinners is a one-off. I don't think so. I mean, but those people, yeah. But I think he's building a world. I think he's building a world of witchcraft and black lore, black mythology. So I would not. And I don't know, Forth, if you've seen it, but if you see it, it sets us up for much more. Will we ever get it? Who knows? But I don't. When he says one-off, I don't think it means that with that. I think it means that, Sinners, the vampire, that particular, when you do see it again, it could be those zombies that they were talking about. So I think he's out to build a world with that. Whether it happens, I don't know. Okie dokie, there's an article. Did you see the news that AEW could have? I have not seen that, Aaron. I've been out of the loop. I hope not. They don't need any more belts. They're about to merge. They're about to get rid of the international title, or the what is it? The Continental title. We're about to merge those. So I think you're going to see Okada and Omega at All In the winner take all. Yep. Well, we don't crack. Tony, Chappie. Alien 3 is a similar cut. Is a bit movie. Okay.
Let's go William Tate this one.
Well,
I don't have an opinion really, that strong on it. But it's like,
if you want to pay to troll me, Chappie, well, let's do it. Alien 3, the assembly cut, is the best Alien movie of the franchise. One of the most misunderstood sequels of all time. Bold and something different. Listen, something can be bold and different and still be bad. I mean, you can take a risk and not pay that. I'm not against them taking risks. The risk didn't pay off. The decisions that they took at the beginning of that movie, in my opinion, just in my eyes, doomed the movie. It's still more watchable than Resurrections, though, or Resurrection. Pre-sales to streaming. Whatever. Are you saying something? I don't know what you're asking me for.
I can never invite you.
I've invited you. You never come on.
Yeah, you've been on with us once or twice.
Yeah, I mean, you've come on like once. I mean, you want to come in? I mean, here, bro, because I know it's going to be like 10 years before I see you again, and you'll say no a bunch of times. You're doing dishes or you're doing something, whatever. This is for Bell only. I'm not letting anybody else in. Because I really don't. Don't you click the link, Chappie? Don't think about it.
Well, you can click it. It's the only one you always bring on.
Yeah,
right now.
you'll stay in the backstage, and we'll just look doing this shit. Oscars are going to enforce voters to watch the movies. I wonder why. Here's the thing, though: if you're an Oscar voter and you're not watching the movies,
yeah, what the
and
fuck?
why are you even there? Why are you even?
Okay.
I told you, Forth. I'm not.
Egg rolls.
Yeah.
She can't right now.
Yeah. So
Let's talk about it next time.
We'll deal with this asshole. Then why'd you ask me now, man? Why do you ask me now if you weren't coming on now? Look what we got instead.
Well, next time.
Look at the downgrade. Look at the downgrade we have instead. Oh, well, whatever.
Well, next time is most likely tomorrow. So you want to come on tomorrow?
Never.
I'm sorry.
Never. No more AVP. I know we're gonna get it, but if you have to ask me, never. I don't like to mix it.
Oscars have made yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but I mean, they have also finally, after years of dragging their feet, instituted a stunt Oscar. So I guess.
So for movies that they're not going to watch, congrats! Wow, yay! Chappie. Hold on.
They'll probably watch this the one flashy stunt in it.
Chappie, I'm only saying hi to you to say goodbye to you because I told you weren't coming on. Say bye, Chappie. Say it. 1, 2.
Bye.
See you, man.
I told you I wasn't only. All right. So yeah. FR4 for real Forth. Yeah, that's what I told you. I left the theater when I got to see the Predator. It literally slapped the Predator culture lord. Yeah, it's like it really does. Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Yep, he's in there.
Yes, he is.
Oh, wait a minute.
And talk about black not cracking.
I did not turn. Did I turn on the asshole magnet? No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
I'm the nicest guy to you and Brad, and you call
No,
me.
you'll make
Yeah,
us watch Hard the Duck every October.
I'm going to have to add another name to my name.
Yes.
All right.
It-
Later.
All this
All right,
because
see you
we said
Hey,
Bell,
it was
come
not
on.
that bad. Okay, I had fun with it. It's not perfect.
It's not
Got a
even
lot
good,
of
dude.
problems,
It's not even
but,
good.
but
Yeah, the
you
movie.
just
The
look at
entire
it
movie.
as a fun B-level
No,
slog fest.
no. If you'd have made the alien, the predator, if you'd have titled the movie the predator type situation or the predator, the animalistic, you named it anything but the predator. And if you had not included, it's like a dead weight. It's
Yeah,
like a
but
dead
Alien
weight
is
to the
different.
Predator.
That's more serious. But
No, I'm
Predator,
talking
you
about
can.
the predator. No, you can't. You
Yeah,
can't.
but the Predator, you can kind of put more humor into
No,
it
you
a little
can't.
bit.
Not like that. Not Three Stooges humor. All right, I got to say goodbye to you because we're about to wrap up the show. And you came on here just to make that non-point. Well, thanks for the super chat, Sappy. I'll see you later. All right. Making egg rolls at 102. What? You're always cooking some weird shit at like dawn. What's going on?
He's so sorry.
Yeah, you say that, and then I didn't put the link out there. And how can you invite me on? Well, when I do, you're making some flapjacks or something, or making some, and I'm hungry now.
Sanav asks, "Was Sinners better than any of the Black Panther movies recruited?" That's interesting. Where would you got to rank it?
It's better than Black Panther 2.
Oh yeah,
It
Black Panther 2, I think we both agree was pretty big come down from the first one.
It's not better than the first Creed, but better than Creed 2. So I put it up there.
Well, Ryan Coogler only directed the first one too. So if you're talking about like ranking it in his filmography, then it's
didn't he? Well, was he? Okay.
He only directed the first one.
Didn't he write the screenplay in the?
I think he was like a producer or like story credit on Creed 2, but but he wasn't back as director, because he was working on Black Panther. Yeah, so. No, Bell says I wake up to vampire.
So yeah, there you go.
Bell.
You wake up at 2 p.m. What are you doing? Better than Black Panther 2, not better than the Boys from the Hood, better than Menace Society. But Boys from the Hood, that's not even the same type of demo. What are you talking about? That's a gangster movie.
What do you do? What do you do, Bell? Because you're I think you'd mentioned you used to.
I know Amazon. She did Amazon. She did, yeah, because you stream from Amazon.
Yeah, but like, what do you do now? Obviously, you're not at the duty anymore. Yeah, what do you do now that you can sleep in that late? Well, I mean, it's like I kind of have funky hours myself because usually it's like I'm getting like at least halfway done with like stuff I plan to turn in, like a lot of times right before I come on with William, and then of course I got my my dojo life where it's like I'm in there 3 to 9 Monday through Thursday, and then it's a little bit different on Friday and Saturday, but it's kind of different. But still, I get my it's not my day doesn't resemble like most people's in terms of like hours and whatnot.
My life doesn't resemble most people's. So. Bell's a crime fighter, the supporter, and back again.
Oh God, this. Yeah, I should have known. Like,
she's probably got 100. You got 110, but you probably got 100% disability.
What?
Not disability like in a wheelchair, but disability. Like there's a lot of stuff you can get.
Well, yeah, because my dad, he didn't have any. Well, he's got disability. He wouldn't have any big injuries. It's more, he's got arthritis in his wrist and shit like that. So he's you got disability on that, but.
How does Sinners live up to the Blade movie? It's not a fair question. 1998 was a different. You wouldn't have told that story in 2025. You wouldn't have done things like that in 2025. So for its era, the original Blade movie was special. The other ones are horrible.
I love 2.
Yeah, two's trash for me. And 3 is not. Two, I don't even need to tell you.
Trinity is non-existent. This is where This is where Chappie's going to come in and like try to defend Trinity, probably.
Okay, I had no plans on bringing him in, but since he's dressed
You
like
just-
Who Killed Roger Rabbit,
No, I think this is supposed to be like like evoking like Cat in the Hat from for my sake.
What? No, it's meant to be Alucard from Helsing. This guy.
Oh, okay. Well, the hat looks very
nothing.
Cat-
The hat
Yeah.
looks nothing like a hat. The cat. Yeah, it looks like a pimp hat. There's literally an Australian pimp on our show right now.
Fourth is Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I no, I haven't claimed anything yet. I know I get a hearing and stuff like that. I just haven't done it, but I will. All right, guys. I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up because I got to go eat and I got some stuff to do. And
I recommend everyone getting this manga. Very good.
I've heard people I'm not like a big anime guy, but I've heard people like recommend that specifically.
It is really, really good. I recommend Helsing 2001, and then Helsing Ultimate, which that's pretty hard to find. Well, for me, it was hard to find, but yeah.
Fourth Midnight Expresses are generally an hour. We're at an hour and 23 minutes. So sorry if you didn't.
Weren't other people in here before?
Second.
Weren't other people in this stream before I got here?
Well, yeah, but
They-
they came
well,
in. They came in just to hire like defend bad Predator movies,
Yeah, I always put that link out there for Belle, and then she left us hanging.
and everybody but Bell came on.
Yeah, she's making egg rolls. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to talk about. And Azteca kind of looks like Azteca's avatar there. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the bell. And even though it doesn't do any damn good, if you hit the bell, you get
Apparently
notified.
it doesn't.
Tomorrow you'll get notified. So, like I said, we'll find something to talk about tomorrow. Until then, I will see you at 11:30 Pacific time. Have a nice mid part of your week. See you later.
There, guys.